Hello, friends from the manga world. My name is G.
And I'm Hector.
Eh. There we go.
Sorry.
We're here to talk about the January 2025. Yeah, this is the new releases for manga. So Hector and I, we work for Penguin Random House, and the titles that you'll see today are those that we can sell internationally. Aside from this YouTube channel, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, on X at PRH International Comics, where you'll find our news and updates there. So definitely comment below what was your favorites, what are you picking up for the month of January, and we'll go ahead and get started with our favorite picks. We'll go through volume ones, and then we'll leave you with the rest of the list with continuing volumes. And then
Yes.
first up we have, let's see, there we go.
It's me.
Oh.
My first pick is Dogs and Punching Bags by Kori Ozaki. And if you heard that name before coming out of my mouth, because I have talked about his books in the past, like Mermaid Prince and The God's Lie. So, but this one, Dogs and Punching Bags, is the story of Nichiko, this young woman who you see here at 34. She lives in Tokyo, works there, but she leaves that isolated life to go back to her hometown, which is a small island, a remote small island, and to take care of her estranged alcoholic father during his last days of life. There she meets this young man called Shimaki, who is eccentric, but then he starts stirring up some old memories and feelings that she thinks she didn't doesn't deserve anymore. So there's this it's straight up sort of slice of life romance, but not heavy romance story about these two, about Chimaki going back to her roots and sort of rediscovering herself, and also discovering this new person, and this person who treats her in a way that she didn't think she could be treated ever again, or she hasn't in her life. Um, and also to note that Chimaki, the boy, he's obsessed with helping those around him. So that is also part of the sort of the topic of this story. In general, I mean, I love this premise, and I'm definitely gonna dive into this because I'm a big fan of Kari Ozaki, and if you haven't checked them out before, you need to. Mermaid Prince, which came out earlier this year in English in June. It's very easy to get into because it's I think it's four short stories. It's an anthology. One of them is the Mermaid Prince, and his stories are like that. It's like slice of life. Sometimes they have a little bit of magic involved in it, but most part is about characters who have very different lives coming together and how they connect. Same thing with The God's Lie, which came out a while back. So I haven't talked about that one, but yeah, that came out in 2016 in English. So there you go. I recommend it. There's a lot of followers out there for Osaki who will just buy it right out the shelves as soon as it hits. So this is one definitely to keep an eye out on. Or there you go.
Right. And then next up you have my pick, Druk 1. This is about a high schooler who's not like the other girls before, like, this is pretty much true because Amelie, is secretly a vampire. So she definitely isn't like the other girls,
Yeah.
which means she can't smile because if she does, her fangs will come out. She can't cry because if she does, her eyes will get red, and that's not human. And also, even though crying is a very human emotion, anyway, she absolutely, positively cannot fall in love with a human because, it leads to bloodlust. So the problem
hmm
is, she has a crush with this third year delinquent named Paco. There's this incident that happens. It kind of results into like this unexpected surprise confession. And it follows by like more shocking attacks basically, there's a lot of weird fumbling that goes along, and it reveals that Ameli's like reveals the true nature of her, which can get into a bit of an issue here. So it's just this question of, can this rough and tumble delinquent that she cannot possibly fall in love with, and the strong vampire with a soft side, can they make it together, basically? So if you're like fans of Dandadan, for instance, or Call of the Night, this is something that you may want to also pick up on.
Very cool.
Mhm.
And we continue with Only I Know the World is Ending and Getting Killed by Rampaging Beasts Only Makes Me Stronger, Manga Volume 1. And this is illustrated by, is written by Shigeru Hajima, illustrated by Tsubasa. So this is Genos. This is right up my alley. This is like, I am extremely into isekais. This is a reverse isekai, if you didn't know about that title. And Akira, who you see here on the cover, is just an average worker. And one night, on his way back home from work, he dies, like any other isekai. But he dies from attack from a minotaur that attacks him in his own world, in our world. And when he wakes up, he doesn't wake up in another world. He just wakes up back in time in his office. So he is now realizing he has the ability of being killed and going back in time. But every time he comes back in time, whatever skills he gains, he keeps. So he keeps getting stronger and stronger. But also, uh, the the monsters are showing up in his world. So he's the only one who knows this is happening. So he's like acquiring skills, killing monsters, getting killed, but then he can go back and keep doing it. Um, so he's gonna become obviously a very OP character in his own world. And of course, there's uh these unlimited lives do not come with just you know with just extra skills, but there's going to be obviously some setbacks. So it's just action and a lot of fights and an OP character that you can root for, that you can identify for if you're just a regular work office worker. So it's just one of those extremely fun isekais. Can't wait for this one for sure.
Mhm.
There you go.
Okay, and next up we have. Let me go ahead. There we go. We have
Mm-hmm.
Glasses with a Chance of Delinquent, Volume 1. Because you have the glasses, it means you can't be a delinquent. That's what that means. So we have Momose,
Talk
who's
about
like
identifying there.
the main character, Momose, longed for peaceful high school life. She wants nothing
Yeah.
to do with hoodlums, no delinquents, no troublemakers. She meets Ichikura, an inconspicuous black-haired boy with glasses. He looks normal. There's no way he's a delinquent. He's a nice
Mm-mm.
guy. But it turns out that back in junior high, he was a nefarious delinquent. And he keeps assuring her, look, he's changed his ways. But, even though he says that, he's pretty quick to get into fights. So has Ishikura really turned over a new leaf? Or will Momose keep quiet about his rowdy past? I love that she's in the background. She's like, ah,
Oh no.
oh no, with the blushing. It's a lot of fun. So I had to pick this.
Yeah, awesome. Speaking of fun, here's another fun one. This is the strange adventure of a broke mercenary. This is the manga volume 4 that's coming in January, and we also have available the light novel. Several volumes of the light novel are out. So in this one, the main character, Lauren, who's the big guy that you see with the grabbing his sword. He was the tank of his party, and one by one, and during this very bloody battle, his party members they all died. He was the lone survivor. So after that, goes very wrong, and he barely escapes alive. Without any money, without any friends. After sort of starting to get over this, he does decide to join a new party, but this party of younger, uh, you know, uh, adventurers, they are just they're young, they're impetuous, so they just like to go in front and just without any regard to danger jump into a fight. So he finds himself in the position that he wants to like become sort of the shield for all of them and try to like protect them from all that. But also there's Lauren, who is a clergy, who I believe is the character to the left, and she's has more common sense than the other members, and she kind of there's a connection there between her and Lauren. So they sort of are the ones who are the word of reason. It's a very straightforward adventure and fantasy uh, manga with a lot of concentration, a lot of characters, and on the trauma this character has, how he can overcome that, and also there's also terms about you know the how there are setbacks and also advantages to either being old or young, and how they can relate together and work together. um, so it's very very cool, very cute. I highly recommend it. It's one of those that it's starting to get traction. As I think it was in English is about 8 light novel titles, volumes. Sorry. Yes, so far. There's going to be more next year. So it keeps going. So it's for fans of fantasy or straight up fantasy, of adventure parties, things like that, but also with a little bit of drama and a tiny bit of sort of romance in there thrown in. This is perfect for you. There you go.
All right. Next up, we have if it feels like deja vu, maybe because it is. If you heard me talk about this title, I've talked about this before, because I have to, because it's amazing. So we have
Yeah.
Run Wild to See. This is the novel. If you've noticed, we have two different editions that are coming out at the same time simultaneously. There is the standard regular version, and then you have a special edition, which will include the standard edition, but it has bonus material that is shrink wraps, bonus merchandise, I should say. So what that includes is like a double-sided bookmark, line notebook, three Polaroids of the main characters, a sticker sheet. So and then the art on the merchandise it's like new art from the artists, included in the special merch in the limited edition release. And it's limited, so if you wanted to get it before it runs out,
Yeah.
put priority on that, because there's only going to be like with the first printing, yeah, you want to get the special limited edition. So what this is, if you haven't heard me ramble about this before, I'll talk about it again. This is about a 17-year-old Jiang Chen, who is cast aside by his adoptive parents, and he goes to this desolate town up north with his like drunken, gambling obsessed, deadbeat father. Arrives with just a suitcase, pack of cigarettes, and a very uncertain future. When he steps off of the train, it's like a rundown place. Doesn't look very happy at all, and it doesn't make the situation any better considering the circumstances. But it is in this place where he meets Gu Miao, who is a troubled girl. She has a brother named Gu Fei, and at first he's like very distant, especially with Gu Fei, her brother. And her brother actually has like this he's his age and he has this musical notes like shaved into his hair. It's like, oh, very interesting individual, but he's like, no, very disenchanted, does not really want to like get into knowing these people. But despite that, he can't help if like being entangled with these strangers, and even though he's reluctant to connect, fate kind of like leads them on this journey together. All three become bonded in this cold, desolate, snowy place. Warmth begins as the bond gets closer between these three individuals. So where hope seems to be frozen is now being thawed out, and we have this beautiful story about this unexpected connections between these three people. And so, very heartwarming story, quite literally. And yes, definitely on a lookout for January releases.
Excellent. And now we're gonna walk you through some of the number ones. Oh no,
Mhm.
not some. All the number ones. The rest of the number ones that are coming out. And I'm gonna need to put my glasses on here. First up is Blood Night Market Volume 1 by Chise Ogawa. This is from popular boys love creator Chise Ogawa. In this action-packed supernatural thriller, a dark city thrives when humans feed the desire of vampires. Wow, very cool. Then we have the Elf Sisters. Can't wait for the night, Volume 1. Kei Hozumi and illustrated by Boka. No, Bukuka? Bukuka?
I
Yes,
don't know
I
how to,
guess.
yeah. I think
I
you
don't
did
know.
it. Good job.
Bukuka. A sexy supernatural manga about one mischievous prankster and his special ability to awakening elves, part of the Ghost Ship imprint. Next, we have Home Sweet Home Volume 1. This is from the author of Rainbow Days, comes a brand new manga with teenage drama and heart-pounding romance all under one roof. And then we have Honeko Akabane's Bodyguards 1. School life meets underground crime in this quirky action comedy that's like Assassination Classroom meets Nisekoi. The knight in shiny armor and heroes versus villain dynamics take a new variation in this story about a reluctant bodyguard protecting his oblivious charge from assassins hired to kill her. Filled with suspense, secrets, and romantic tension, this manga is surefire recipe to keep readers ravenous for every volume. Very cool.
All right, and I will be continuing on with the volume ones by Isekai Affair. 10 years after defeating the Demon King, the hero cheats his wife with the warrior woman who lost her husband. Volume one. That was a lot.
That's a lot.
You just know exactly what it is on the title.
Yeah.
Intriguing.
You do realize that the title is longer than the description, right?
I like the lip imprint under affair
Yeah.
because that like really seals the deal on what this is.
Well,
Because it's a mature rated
y-
isekai.
yeah, you're probably not getting it, but I get it. I think it's an homage to like covers of like thriller movies from the like suspense movies from the 80s and 90 early 90s,
Mhm,
because that pose, that the lips things and the font, it just automatically to me, since I'm an 80s and 90s kid, it gave me vibes of those kind of movies,
mhm.
this, sort of sensual police stories, thriller kind of stories from the late 80s and the early 90s. There you
You know
go.
what I really like? I know we're spending a lot on this.
Yeah,
But
I know.
do you
We're
see like
saying way more than we thought, but it's good.
I love how on the title, because they have a
Uh-huh.
subtitle, like, it's Isekai Fair,
Yeah.
and then it continues, but like they put specific phrases in
Yeah.
red to
The
like
highlight.
highlight it, like
Yes.
defeating the Demon King, and like cheats on his wife, and then lost her husband. It's like if you don't want to read the entire title, they'll give you the
Yep.
highlights in red.
Exactly.
So, if you want
Very
like a
cool.
steamy tryst between party members in another world, That's all you really need
Yeah,
to know. This is for
exactly.
you.
I mean, just read the title and look at the cover, and you'll know if it's for you for sure.
Love on the Horizon. Now, we don't have a final cover for this, so yes, just so keeping you in mind. This is a sweet, poignant new BL series about a college student's crush on his upperclassman and question mark next door neighbor. I guess they're that always happens in BL, right? Like when you find out your
Yeah, yeah.
crush is like living next to you.
Hmm.
Now it's perfect for fans of My Ultramarine Sky, Number Call, Given, The White and Blue Between Us as a BL fan. You know I've already read all that, so this is
Yeah.
gonna add to the list. And then we have Missing O comic. This is the volume one, mature read, full covered manhwa. This was originally on Lezen, but it is now available for print for the first time. This is about one woman on a mission to experience another night of ecstasy with a man whose name she never caught, but whose touch she can't forget. All right,
Very
I
cool.
love our
Very
volume
cool
one.
indeed.
The volume one's coming out in January, starting off strong.
Yeah, and we forgot to mention, and we should have probably mentioned at the beginning, January includes titles from Tokyopop, which we are starting to distribute at PRH starting on January 1st. So
Mhm.
you will see, and the rest of the list that's coming, also some titles from Tokyopop.
Yes. All right, so we're actually going to close out. Well, our faces are going to close out, but you can
Yeah,
continue to look at the continuing volumes that are coming out in January. So stay tuned and watch more of the video. With that, we will make our departure. Thank you for watching this video. We do this on a monthly basis, but check out our other videos that we do as well. Comment down below on what you're going to be looking forward to picking up in January. So with that, bye everyone.
bye.